Songs of Glimmerwick is an enchanting game about playing music to cast spells and change the world around you. I played the first few hours of the upcoming game, you can too, starting on April 7th, and it really is every bit as magical as it looks. The world is painstakingly detailed and full of life. Critters scurry through the forest, ghosts haunt the library, and townsfolk bustle around the village. There's deep lore surrounding the island's source of magic, its inhabitants, and the university. In these first few hours, I felt like I was really just dipping my toes into a much larger world full of mysteries, and I was glad to find that the game eased me in at a comfortable pace while still giving me plenty of hints at a much larger story. So let's dive into all the magic and mischief you'll be getting up to in Songs of Glimmerwick. In terms of genre, the game can overall be described as a life sim with elements of farming, crafting, adventuring, and questing all mixed in. You take on the role of a new student at an ancient university of magic, and after deciding who you are and doing a bit of customization, your first order of business is to acquire some supplies. Instead of a wand or a staff, you'll use a flute to cast your spells, and this local woodworker, who definitely isn't part tree, will craft you one to fit your personality. Cauldrons, robes, and other supplies can be picked up in town, and in just the first 15 or 20 minutes, some very interesting quests had already been added to my journal. I personally loved how the entire town is opened up to you from the get-go, and you're kinda just left to wander around it without any clear directions. You may just happen to stumble upon one of the shops you're supposed to visit, or perhaps you'll take a look at one of these street signs, or even talk to a character that references the building behind them. All of this lends itself to Glimmerwick's extremely strong sense of place as you talk to some of your future peers about the year ahead or get a sneak peek into some local drama. While I was eager to get my studies started, I never felt rushed to continue on with the main quest, and exploring and talking to other characters always felt worth it. After you have all your supplies, you can finally head up onto the university and officially meet the other students. You'll be given a quick tour, shown to your room, and then have free reign of the campus for the rest of the day. The first thing I did was strike up some conversations with my peers, and I was extremely pleased to hear that each and every line of dialogue is fully voiced. There are well over 100 characters in the game, and they all have so much to say. Normally, I'd flit through a game's idle chatter, reading it rather quickly and ready to get on to the next moment of gameplay, but I found myself hanging on to every character's words here. Even the most mundane conversations give you a glimpse at the larger world of Glimmerwick, where its magic comes from, and how everyone feels about it.
But you do tend to be a bit prickly toward newcomers.
Oh, prickly? Why, I never...
In the first music class you attend, your professor gives you a lengthy history of the world's magic system and the forces who tried to subdue it at some point in the past. Honestly, I felt like I really was back in school, and that's definitely not a bad thing here. As my class schedule filled up, my mind started dancing with excitement at all the potions I'd brew and spells I'd learn, and using a map to navigate really did make me feel like a freshman again. The two classes you'll attend in the demo are music, where you learn about casting spells with button presses tied to songs, and potion making, which requires you to manage a handful of cauldrons, keeping track of a stream of never-ending ingredients in order to brew as many potions as possible. While you're not in class, you can roam around wherever you'd like, and one of the places you'll be visiting rather frequently is the campus garden. You've been assigned the muddy task of fixing the place up, and with only a limited amount of mana each day, clearing it out and filling it with a variety of both normal and magical plants will be a large undertaking. Thankfully, there's no rush. The game has a timer to help you plan your day around classes and events, but each night, time freezes until you're ready to go to bed. This provides a sense of time passing without causing you to rush around to try to get everything done in a single day. I'm also happy to report that there are plenty of cats lounging around for you to pet. I mentioned the map earlier. There are actually a few of them, one for the school and two for the wider world. They're beautiful for sure, but they also require you to think, just a little bit, about where you are and where you want to go. As you can see, the island is quite big, and at the start of the game, most areas will be blocked off in one clever way or another. You'll either have to learn a certain spell to get past an obstacle, maybe acquire a specific item, or start the quest associated with the area to open them up. Each morning you'll wake up to a few letters inviting you to one place or another, which will inevitably help you to get to know these people and the island better. I do want to mention the studio's previous game, Eastshade, because the team has quite an interesting approach to game design. That game is also set in a fantasy world, but instead of casting spells, you paint the landscape. Painting certain landmarks or people is the basis for many of the game's quests. Like Songs of Glimmerwick, there's no combat, but a lot of interesting story moments also require you to just explore and talk to people. What I'm trying to say is Eastshade Studios knows how to make beautiful, well thought out worlds and maps, and enough curious and engaging quests to fill them with. If you want to learn more about Eastshade Studios, their approach to game design, and see some behind the scenes peeks at Songs of Glimmerwick, do go check out their channel and devlogs. Although this demo was a lengthy 2 hours, and I did poke around just about everywhere I could, I was definitely left wanting more. With so many unfinished quests hanging over my head and my first ever herbotany class I was supposed to attend on Thursday, I'm already totally hooked on the life sim and schedule aspects of the game. And there's so much more to it all that's only hinted at in the trailers, but thankfully all demo progress will be saved and carried over into the full game, so we can pick right back up where we left off when the full game is released. I know I can't wait to get up to all sorts of magical mischief whenever that happens.